Free Julian Assange!
Who's Julian Assange?
Free Julian!
Since this distressing tendency to silliness in my speech seems most certainly to constitute a serious setback to my prospects of success, I have of necessity enlisted the assistance of this series of sentences, not essentially sensible, but so composed as to exercise to the utmost those speech patterns responsible for producing eventually, I trust, with some measure of success, this troublesome sound. For I must confess at present I find myself at a distinct disadvantage, since the splendid pathos and still stirring sadness of my most emotional passages is simply shattered by this distracting whistling S, which is sufficient to give the least discerning audience the impression that they're listening to the hysterical hissing of incensed geese.
I want Julian free. We love him. Yes.
Well done. Thank you. Free Assange.
Damn.
It's all just to create a big mess. America is losing. Here's one of the theories. America's losing out to China and Russia. Only what they hope is to cause a load of chaos.
They will encircle those tiny little countries that shouldn't even be countries.
Oh, yeah.
They're all just ex-Soviet states. The one country is just, by the way.
This has been in the media for so long. It's time that you freed Julian Assange. The man is innocent. All he's trying to do is tell the world of the corruption, of the indecent capitalism. It's all about the dough. It's all about corruption. Julian needs to tell the world of what is happening. He is a human being just trying to educate the world about the corruption. Free Julian. Free him now. Thanks, man.
What's your name?
Free Julian! Bring everyone Christmas cheer! Free Julian Assange!
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Free Julian Assange!
Welcome to the 160th week of Julian Assange Sydney Town Hall gatherings. A lack of democracy is the reason a journalist can be denied freedom for over 12 years for simply publishing in the public interest. How did democracy, justice and human rights become so distant? We have been deceived through lies and trickery. Mainstream media push narratives about politicians fighting other politicians to win us all better lives. These narratives divide us and hide the fact that we are living in a system that is moving further and further away from democracy, justice and human rights. Julian Assange performed a great democratic service when he informed us with truth about the wrongdoing of governments, corporations and the mass media. Julian Assange realised we need a system where there is privacy for individuals and transparency for governments and corporations. Through WikiLeaks, Julian was able to bring greater transparency to governments and corporations while protecting the privacy of individuals wishing to blow the whistle on government and corporate crimes. We are currently witnessing the enthusiastic push by the New South Wales government to enlist us in a digital ID system. At present, the New South Wales government's digital ID system is said to be purely opt-in, but there is no mention of whether it is possible for anyone to opt out after opting in. It is very easy to imagine the day when digital IDs will become mandatory for all our transactions with governments, banks and businesses. In parallel, the Reserve Bank of Australia is working on bringing in a central bank digital currency. A digital ID with a central bank digital currency will place an inordinate amount of control in the hands of a very few people. These technologies are being sold to us as safe, secure and convenient, as well as being heralded as a way to fight criminal activity. However, we must realise they present an immense danger to the well-being of all of us. These technologies will make a digitally enabled social credit system possible. A digitally enabled social credit system may well provide a way to reduce petty criminal activity, but it will make the far more serious crimes that governments commit against their people much more likely. We must consider that in a world where a digitally enabled social credit system is normalised, resistance to government crimes may be next to impossible. The crimes of governments involved in the arbitrary persecution of a journalist like Julian Assange will become increasingly possible against all of us. If any of us express views which go against mainstream narratives, it will be possible for those with power to exercise control over the social credit system to exclude individuals from services. With this potential power available to governments and corporations, real democracy will be difficult to even imagine. It is vital that we are truthfully informed about the technologies governments and corporations want us to adopt. The imprisonment of Julian Assange prevents him from expressing his expertise in this area. It is vital that we have oversight of corporate and government activities. It is vital that we speak up for democracy, justice and human rights while we still can. The freedom of Julian Assange represents the freedom of all of us. Our unity for freedom of Julian Assange expresses our unity for the freedom of humanity. Free, free Julian Assange. Free, free Julian Assange. Free, free, Julian Assange. Free, Julian Assange. Free, free, free.
Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy New Year to you. While we're out celebrating this Christmas, remember one guy who's still behind bars. Anyway, this is a poem for Julian Assange. It's called The Roar of the Crowd, the Christmas crowd in Sydney, Australia. I heard the roar in the wind, boys, in the mighty green shirt pines, as if the trees were blazing like a gash fire in the mines. The wind's voice kept on mounting against the midnight's face. I heard that roar well up in me, that roar has left its trace. I heard the roar at the school gates when the holidays began, when the kids raced out like brumbies, grown men turned and ran. They raced down through the playground and they roared out, "We are free!" And the hungry roar of those school kids still roars inside of me. I heard the roar at the football match as it rose in crowded stands, when a winger leapt and took a pass with magic outstretched hand, and the double roar as he came inside and flashed across the line. Ah, that was the roar that stirred my soul, a roar that was a sign. I heard the roar on the racecourse when the favourite lunged ahead, and he grabbed the lead at the ledger and the rest of the field seemed dead. And the roar for horse and jockey with the numbers in the frame, and that was a roar that spurred my blood and victory was its name. And I heard the roar of soldiers when they begged to go to the front, when war was only a sporting match and they begged to go on a stunt. And the roar, "Come on Australia, Wagga, Henty and Hay." Ah, that was the roar of the slaughterhouse. There's nothing more to say. And I heard the roar at the town hall when the delegate rose to speak. A roar to shake the merciless, a roar to raise the weak. To raise the weak and wandering, to give eyes to the blind. That was a roar of a tidal wave that was making up its mind. Dennis Kevin's 1962, 50 years since the loricate wrote The Roar of the Crowd. Good luck, Julian, for Christmas, and free Julian Assange.
I agree.
Inmate
Our mate,
Julian Assange!
inmate,
Our mate!
Julian Assange. Inmate, our mate, 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 Julian Assange. Free, free, Julian Assange. Free, free, Julian Assange. Free, free, Julian Assange. Only one decision. No extradition. There is only one decision. No extradition. There is only one decision. No extradition. Thank you.